most pressure you're going to feel across this whole race. Getting it off the line is one of the toughest things you can do as you get 5 lights up. And the Bathurst Enduro is underway for Split 2 with a great start from the front runners at the TMX boys as well inside of the top 10 as they run round turn number 1. You can see Lawrence has got a good start away. They've kept themselves nice, clean and consistent, Sinka. For the final race of the season, it's a scramble towards turn 1 for the front runners and the whole field is behind. Another old lead from through one already. Davison and Felipe wanting to try and keep right on the tail of Doug Bowen. Navarone was climbing up the front already as well. Phase there, Katakazina.
Yes, he did.
Laboring still going at each other here. 3 minutes down, we've got 17 minutes to go. They're going to go round a lot of times. It's 1 minute 21 lap times here. We're not going to stop. Shane Ratcliffe fighting out as well. Ray Oliver's got Bradley Wall alongside. Looks like Daniel Harding has had some form of incident. We'll pick up on that one in a minute. But Oliver on the inside, got to come back behind him.
Further back as we're underway. James Scott will lead them up the hill, up towards turn 1. Can they keep it clean? There's already contact with Dolphin and Stone Street on the straight as they run round turn 2. Johnson Warboy being cautious off the exit of turn 1. What a run off the line, but an atrocity has happened to Troy Stone Street off the start. There's no other way to say it, Sinka. Off of Will Brown and just absolutely Superman punches straight into the wall on the left hand. And we're underway at Suzuka for the final race of the season. It's a scramble towards turn 1 for the front runners. Hold it up the line. Absolutely right.
Hello and welcome everyone to the next round of the Warren and Brown Tools V8 Supercars Championship. Little different format tonight. This time it'll be just like it was a couple weeks ago with me and Cowie in the booth. But as always, we're going to go ahead and take a quick look at the point standings before we really get into it and break down what we're going to be seeing tonight at the Bend.
Good to be with you, James. It's been awesome racing this season, though I don't know if I'd put myself in that band last week. But yeah, look at the.
Yes, sir. It's awesome to have you in the booth. And let's see, here are the AMS championships. Your point leader continues to be Brett Taylor at 786 with his teammates Scotty Weston in P2. Marty Hughes, Ben O'Connell, and Christopher Tomlin round out the top 5 with Craig Healy, Di Feldman, Liam Amos, Jacob McIntyre, Michael Quash, and Stephen Martin rounding out the point standings for the AMS.
Looking pretty close there at the top, only 35 points separating the top 2, so that should be pretty close in the AMS. A couple of rounds left to go.
Absolutely. It doesn't seem all that close, but the fact that we still have, this is round 8?
Yeah, round 8, 2 rounds to go. And but you look at the Pro-Ams on the page now, and Brandon Levin, he's got a fairly commanding lead now, 123 points over Joe Osterwald, Jaron Wickland in P3 at the moment, and Clutters, who I think, like myself, has missed a round, doing all right in P4 at the moment too.
Absolutely, and then we have Peter Sadler in 5th, you in P6. Unfortunately, with you being up here tonight, I don't think it's going to last you sitting in P6. With Troy Dooley in 7th, Timothy Miles in 8th, Mitchie Noble in 9th, and Jordan Williams rounding out the top 10 for Dark Horse Racing with Jacob Trainer for SRB, Kurt Nommensen, Mason Martin, Kai Jones, and Hayden Cuppett rounding out the 15 on the point standings. And now we move to the pro category. Your point leader, Ryan Mueller for the Pelicans, with Ryan Nielsen and BAR sitting in P2. Then a whole bunch of other birds, Stephen Banks, Blake Urquhart, and Jonathan Gallen rounding out the top 5. 4 Pelicans in the top 5. That is an absolutely outstanding season for them so far.
Yeah,
Will Buchanan.
The cream of the crop has been Ryan Mueller and Ryan Nielsen. They're 200 or 150 clear of the next person, Stephen Banks. But you're right. Will Buchanan, Peter Pavlovic, William Morgan, James Scott. He's been only the first few rounds we've had James. We've missed him for the last few races. Jack Snove and Ricky Durnham, and another driver we haven't seen in a while. But that race up front, only 39 points. So the sprint round tonight, both those drivers will be trying to maximise and get as many points as they can, because 1 round to go, and it could be really close.
Yeah, things are astronomically close with these two. And we still have essentially 2 races here tonight, with it being the sprint round, and then the enduro round next week at Adelaide with more points on offer. 39 points is nothing with how much racing we still have to get through.
Well, an enduro to finish, I think it's 6 points of position, as well as fastest lap in there as well. So the battle up front, it's not over yet. Of course, we have seen a lot of drama in round 8s before here at SRW. So, nothing is sort of set in stone, but Brandon Levin, he's been one of those names that probably for about a season and a half now, he's been at the front of the Pro-Ams, and at some tracks even competing with the pros. He picked up the overall win last week in the weather. So, really showing his class. I know a few of the boys have asked me why I haven't raised him up to pros. Well, I dropped him back there a couple of seasons ago. You got to give a man a chance to win where you put him first. So he's been really showing it a lot of pace this season.
Absolutely. You get the feeling that he might not be long in the Pro-Ams category with how he's been running this season.
There's one other name I've been keeping an eye on was Ben O'Connell. He's had some really good qualifying the last few rounds as an AM. I know he hasn't put those races together, but again, I've always said I'm not trying to, lock down everything completely. If you show that you're fast, then I've got to keep an eye on you.
Absolutely. But here we are at the Bend. Cowie, what are you expecting from this one?
It's a really good track for racing. It's one of those tracks where it can be hard to finish off a move. You can sort of half get it done, but I mean, you're going to see it's quite technical enough so that the really fast guys, well, that's where they're in the element in a place like this. It's got a few traps too that you've just got to be aware of. So, sometimes fortune favors the brave. Sometimes here at Tail and Bend, though, you can push a little too far.
Absolutely. Now, I'm not as familiar with the Bend as I am most of the other tracks on our calendar. In fact, to this day, I still haven't ran a race here at the Bend myself. What are the real hot spots here that you think are going to create the most action and the most nerve-wracking to see cars trying to go side by side here?
Well, as we're sort of watching the cars come around sort of the middle section of the track, this corner here where you are trying to carry a lot of speed through these sections, one of the things about the Bend is it's probably a little bit like Suzuka. It's got those sort of two big sections where, you've almost got to compromise your first entry to maximize the next two. There's not a lot of heavy braking areas, so it comes down to sort of pressuring your opponent in front. So, when you can get a bit of a train going here for places, but as I said, it's that extra level of skill that the pros have got. We see any of them back in the pack, you're going to see where, they've got the difference around a place like this.
Yeah, it seems narrow in quite a few parts on this circuit. Is that what it seems like to you?
It's not so much narrow, it's just there's whole sections that are flowing, and like even sort of coming into the first corner here, you are braking a lot earlier than you think you would to get the car to turn, because the car just wants to slide wide, and then you're trying to get back on the power again, and if you're sliding and trying to get back on the power, you're just giving away time. So you're braking a bit earlier. It seems to be a hallmark of the Gen 3 supercar. You've got to slow it up a bit more than you think, and of course that's where the element of skill comes out, and the fast guys are the ones that are able to carry extra 3Ks an hour, extra 5Ks an hour in through the apex, and that's where they pick it up. They're not picking it up in big chunks. Remember, it's a tenth here, a couple of tenths over a section. You do that on a track that's got 18 turns, you find a tenth in every corner, well, you're going to be further up the road than the next guy.
Absolutely. Meanwhile, we are well into qualifications right now. Provisional pole is Ryan Mueller at a 1:53.780. Ryan Nielsen just jumps up into P2, 1:54.247. So far, it's a pretty big gap that Mueller has over Nielsen. It's a pole difference that we're not used to. We're not used to seeing that big of a gap from P2 to P1 to P2. That's usually the gap from P1 to P6 or 7.
You can see there too, there's a few people falling afoul of off tracks, and that a couple of people haven't put times on the board yet. But Brandon Levin, P6 for the leading Pro-Am. Scotty Weston, P7 with a 55.2. So again, there's 3 tenths there from Levin to Weston. But, Mueller the only one in the 53s so far.
Yeah, this is absolutely the performance that Mueller needs to have. He needs to add on to that points gap to at least have some sort of cushion going into Adelaide. We all know Adelaide. Anything can happen there. So the last thing you want to do is just have a narrow points lead going into that Enduro next week. And
Look,
yeah, you said it. Go on.
Well, I was going to say it's one of those things where a point lead is always going to be an advantage, but ask Brock Feeney what a points lead was like last season. Anything can happen in an enduro in the final round.
Yeah, and in my experience, sometimes being the leader is the hardest thing because you have the pressure. You suddenly have to start second guessing some of your moves. I talked about it a lot during last week's GR86 race, in reference to Doug Gallons and his point lead. You have to, going into a situation, a passing opportunity, a big pack of cars, you have to start to weigh what you think is the right thing to do. Like, should I just back off and kind of play it safe, not do anything stupid, or should I full send and try to make that pass? Those are the things you have to think about when you're the points leader. When you're second, when you're the one chasing, and you don't really have that to worry about, you can be more aggressive. You can throw a little more caution to the wind, which is a lot bigger of advantage than having to have those second-guessing thoughts going through your head during the race.
Well, again, it comes down to a concentration thing, and a lot of drivers will tell you that, being told to sort of, lift and coast or stay off the... take it easy and bring it home. If that brings a lapse in concentration, that's where you can make the mistake. And a lot of drivers drive on the limit all the time, and you can't just dial that off. Sometimes it brings that risk and brings woe. But again, you need to be quick to have the fortune as well. And I always say, the brave should go the spoils. Let's hope that we get a great fight here at the end of the season, and get to see them fight for it.
Absolutely. And you see right now, Mueller has actually gone better on his lap, put up a 153.563. And now it's Stephen Banks in P2, his teammate at a 54.160.
I know the boys were on the radio complaining it was a little bit warm out there at the moment. I didn't see what the track temp was, but I haven't done a lot of laps around the bend recently to know if it's slow times, but 46 degrees on tracks. It is cooking. So, we are seeing the car slide around a little bit, which hopefully should make some entertaining racing. But, yeah, it was going from freezing cold and wet last week to baking in the sunshine.
Yeah, being a dirty egg myself, I don't have a whole lot of knowledge on Celsius, but I do know enough to know that is really hot. Oh, wow. Man, these drivers are going to have their work cut out for them trying to deal with that.
Well, I think is it 37 or 38 is three figures for you guys? So it's well into three figures.
Yeah, in fact, I might be able to do a little bit of conversion here to figure that out. It is 113 in Fahrenheit. Not great, but I've definitely seen a lot worse.
Well, that's right, but it is that track temp, and we're seeing the cars sliding around. One of the things about the bend is that if you push hard, well, you're going to chew up rubber. So it's a sprint round tonight. So I set the fuel limit to try and give a little bit of a window, but it should only be a one-stopper for the 40-minute race. But, these guys have got enough fuel in the tank to get home without a stop in race 1, so we might see that tyre dead come into account, in the first race for sure.
Absolutely, and you just got to be careful with just overcooking it a little too much, because you see there's not a whole lot of paved runoff. There's honestly no paved runoff, so you make a mistake, it's gonna pay hard. You're gonna be up in the grass and you're gonna be well into the gravel depending on where you make that mistake.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to get a lot of safety cars, though, because there is quite a lot of runoff here. One of the aspects of Tail and Bend is that it's got sort of multiple configurations, so it can run all sort of number of formats and bikes and cars and God knows what else in various different ways. But there is a lot of runoff, so you're not going to see cars in the wall causing a safety car. So I think, it's going to be some pretty aggressive racing tonight. And again, in these cars, you start fighting with the cars around you. We can start to see those gaps form between, and we end up with a few different battle packs. So hopefully the two Ryans can keep it together up front. We get to watch them battle away.
Yes, sir. We are, of course, at the International Circuit of the Bend, configuration 1 of 324. And you see Ryan Nielsen. Sorry to cut you off, Cowie, but got to point out that Ryan Nielsen has jumped up to P2 with a 153.647. Got a heck of a lot closer to Mueller. And William Morgan has joined them in the 53s, a 53.907. So times are getting better.
Well, a few hundreds in it now, so there's that closeness you've been looking for. That's been sort of probably a hallmark of the season. These guys been quite close up the front. I've been nowhere near them. But then again, I haven't been doing a lot of practice, so I can't really expect to compete anywhere. But these guys, 2 minutes, inside 2 minutes, so we've got to remember it's a sprint round tonight, so as soon as the clock hits 0, that's the end of quali. So, these guys are done. They won't get another lap in. I think most of the field is still out there trying to finish off their final lap. We'll see if anyone's improving.
Yeah, and I think what kind of caused a lot of the speed gain in these times is you take a look at the track. There is all of a sudden a lot of cloud cover. It seems like cloud cover over the entire circuit. So that little bit of cooling done to the track has made a big difference in these lap times.
Well, one of the things I've tried to do is I'll leave it on forecast-based weather. So none of the weather is planned. Like even last week, it was supposed to be 40 to 60% chance of rain increasing through the race. And it rained in practice and we stayed dry the whole time after that. So I do love it because it adds that little bit of, I suppose, variable that even me as the admin is not aware of what it's going to be like. And it does mean that you can't exactly prepare for the weather. But it is slowly getting cooler. We'll just have to see if it retains that. But there is the end of quali, buddy.
Yes, sir. And now time to get to the starting lineup. You're a pole sitter from Pacific Esports, Ryan Mueller, with Ryan Nielsen from BAR joining him on the front row. Then we have William Morgan and Stephen Banks, 2 more Pelicans right there with their championship leading teammate in the top 4. Jax Nova and Jaron Wickman of Syndicate Racing in row 3. Row 4 features Brett Taylor from EWT and Brandon Levin from Team SRW. Then Mitchie Noble and Joe Oosterval rounding out the top 10 from SRB. Blake Urquhart, another Pelican in P11. Tim Miles from Sim Racing Brotherhood joins him on row 6. Scotty Weston from EWT next to Marty Hughes on row 7, also from the Pelicans. And another Pelican, Peter Pav Starting 15th with Ben O'Connell from Syndicate next to him. Peter Sattler and Daniel Clutterbuck from TMX on row 9. Jacob Trainer from SRB and Craig Healy from EWT rounding out the top 20. Kurt Nommensen from Rev Esports next to Jonathan Gallen, another Pelican on row 11. Chris Tomlin for LCR Esports will be rounding out the field. Definitely a bit smaller grid than what we've been accustomed to this season. Normally, Steve finishes it up with just about time for the lights to go out, but here we got a full minute to spare after getting through that.
Yeah, unfortunately, no performance sim racing drivers out there tonight. Di's away looking after her mum, and I'm in the booth. And Troy, he's a fly-in, fly-out worker, so we get him for a couple of weeks and we lose him for a couple of weeks. So I think he'll be back for the final round next week, which will be good. But yeah, so there's 3 missing from the grid. It is one of the things that happens towards the end of a season when drivers aren't in contention. They maybe sort of put less focus and maybe focus on the series that they are in contention on instead. But, still have 20 odd going into round 8. That's still a pretty solid field, and she can give us some great racing tonight.
Absolutely. Yeah, the end of season crunch is real, unfortunately.
Yeah, well, here they're revving up, getting ready to go, buddy. So let's have a great race, round 8 here at Tailem Bend. I'm looking forward to this. Sprint round.
Yes, sir. The countdown has reached 4 zeros. Lights are on. Green means go, and we are underway at the bend, and that is not a great start for Ryan Mueller. Here comes his teammate swamping him. Will Morgan about to take the lead. Wasn't the greatest start for Nielsen either. He's trying to follow through. Morgan up into the lead. Mueller gonna maybe hold on a second. Big crossover as we got contact towards the back of the grid.
They straightened each other up there, so it was some good recovery racing there.
Man, and just like that, that perfectly timed crossover gets Mueller back into the lead. As now Nielsen and Morgan are side by side for P2. This is exactly what you want to see if you're Mueller.
You want to see the boys behind fighting. His teammate, he can be in the mix here. So, I wouldn't be surprised to see if Morgan get in front of Nielsen. He will maybe sort of hold him back and let Mueller build up a nice little buffer.
Yeah, but crucially for Nielsen, he is able to get the pass done and is free to try to track down his championship rival. Incident
here in the
under
mid-pack.
investigation with Marty Hughes.
Good battle in the mid-pack here as well. Levin under a bit of pressure. Banks behind him, so I think he must have got caught up at the start there as well, Stephen Banks, because he was a bit further up the road.
Yeah, it was a interesting start for a lot of the top 5. You saw Mueller, Banks, Nielsen not having the best. Morgan having an absolute cracker of a start. So far, Nielsen
starting to get those guys, get swamped by the, row 2 and row 3. That's what sort of happened there. But it has evened out now and settled. Looks like Levin's up 1 or 2 from his qualifying. Well, there we go. Levin up 3. Yeah, Banks is one of the losers. Also, Brett Taylor losing a bunch of spots. Mitchy Noble down 2 as well. So, a few drivers getting caught out there a little bit. But, again, that could have been a lot worse. A couple of cars half sideways, but they managed to straighten up.
Yeah, so far, Marty Hughes seems to be the biggest loser with 5 spots lost from his qualifying position.
Nice. Move up the inside. I think it was from Pavlovic in the back there. Looking good on my second screen. I don't know if you want to try that out tonight, sir. But at the moment, it's not a holding pattern, but Mueller has got that lead out to 1.8, 1.9 seconds over Ryan Nielsen. William Morgan staying with Jack Snove and Brandon Levin, Stephen Banks, Jared Wickman, Blake Urquhart up a couple as well. Oosterwall and Taylor bring out your top 10 at the moment, but nothing is decided. Only a few minutes into a 20-minute race.
Absolutely, and you see Nielsen's not making any inroads on our race leader. Mueller is actually starting to stretch the gap a little bit over Nielsen, as Nielsen has to worry more about Ryan's teammate, William Morgan, all over the back of his Mustang.
This would be the script. If Morgan can't get in front of him, then hassle him enough, force him to be defensive and try and slow him up that way. Remember, there is the reverse top 10 for race number 2, so, you know, even if Mueller gets a big jump here, he's going to be starting from P10 and have to make his way through the field. But as I said to you, this is one of those tracks where you can see a bit of a train forming in the mid-pack. It can be hard to get a run on someone here. But in saying that too, you know, we reverse that top 10 and put the fast guys back there. They're the ones that are going to make it so exciting.
Absolutely. See a pretty good battle here. Middle of the top 10. Whoa, big send from Urquhart on Wickman. And he's going to get the pass done. What a move. Wickman did not expect that. Did not expect that.
Well, it is one of the spots where you can make a move there, but yeah, great control. All under brakes too. That was that's a classic.
Absolutely, and now Wickman has Oosterwall all over him, trying to see if he can get by.
And I was just reading back through the YouTube comments. There's a couple of nice ones there as well. Sim racing will become Australia's favourite sport in a few weeks when the fuel runs out. I think they just released a big chunk of fuel reserves, so that might keep us going for a few more weeks, but I think we might see a few more races on the sim again if they can't afford the fuel to go out racing.
Meanwhile, back on the action, Oosterwall not really hanging on to the back of Wickman like he was, although a much better corner. And see, up towards the front, Morgan has got by Nielsen. Oh, Nielsen's trying to take it back. Morgan's going defensive, way defensive. Oh, Nielsen's going to send it anyways. Backs out of it wisely. Oh, and he forces Morgan to... Oh, he got him looking in the mirror, and that is a huge disaster for William Morgan. He's going to have to cut the corner. Oh, that was a stroke of genius from Ryan Nielsen there.
That is the fake of super fakes, wasn't it? Yeah, we went to go the outside. He went defensive. Nielsen went up the inside, but yeah, just outbroke himself. So Morgan with a bit of work back to do, and now Nielsen can see if he can get Mueller. It's almost 4 seconds though, so he'll have his work cut out for him.
Yeah, that's dropped him from all the way down to... Oh, he might have an issue. Oh, he's pulling off. I don't know what's going on. No meatball or anything, but big issues.
He might have
for the 210 of William Morgan.
Yeah, he might have popped the motor there with that.
That's what I thought, but there's no meatball.
Okay, no, he's just dropped to the back.
Maybe, but I don't know, because there's no furled black flag either. So he wasn't actively serving the slowdown. At least I don't think he was. But yeah, that has dropped him all the way to almost shotgun on the field. Only ahead of his teammate Jonathan Gallen.
Well, the tyres are still probably a bit hot too, because you can see him sliding around a little bit, though. Again, this is a hot racetrack, and I don't think he's going to be the only one sliding around.
Yeah, but the body language of that car looked like he was just trying to get out of the way. But whatever it was, that is a massive bad break for Morgan. As now Nielsen doesn't have to worry about him, but he does have to worry about Jax Nova.
Good attack there, though. He went in a little deep there, Jax. Nielsen able to get a jump on the exit. I think Levin's another driver. He's having another great race. P4, just good pace, and he's keeping himself out of trouble. And, you know, matching it with the guys around him. Brett Taylor, P9 for an AM. Currently front row, and Mitchie Noble sitting in P10. So that's interesting as well. Mitch is very competitive at a track he loves. And good to see him in the mix tonight.
Absolutely, and if he can keep it at P10, he is going to be one to watch when we get around to that invert. We saw him convert the invert pole to a win a couple times in the 86s this season. So get him the track position, and he's a tough one to pass.
He's one of those guys that can make the car fairly wide, but he's got Clutterbuck behind him, who is another guy who's exceptional at making the car as wide as possible. Though I think there's a bit of time between the two of them at the moment, so have to keep an eye on where they are on track, and maybe Clutters can make an attack as we get to the end of this race. Still only halfway through, though, at the moment.
Yeah, Cluthers has a little bit, I think a couple seconds to gain on Noble, as we got a couple Pelicans side by side here. Urquhart at Banks. Side by side down into turn one. And Banks is just about going to get it done. He will. Stephen Banks back up into the top 5.
Yeah, nice move there, report. Little tap.
Yeah, a little left tap from his teammate. Now that brings Wickman back into the fray.
I didn't expect them to fight that too hard, but probably a bit closer than they meant. Didn't really need that bump draft up the straight.
Probably not, but hey, at least it looked cool on the broadcast, and that's all that matters.
It's awesome to see that wiggle too there. You can see where they're getting on the power. This section here is so fast, very easy to run wide. It's quite a fair bit blind. It's like, again, blowing through this section here, you got to slow the car up a little bit more than you think. You try to carry too much speed, you're off into the weeds, and you just give it up all down this straight.
Yeah, that multi-apex sweeper, that is not an easy corner to get through. Easy to get lost, get behind on your inputs, and
another
just makes you dizzy sometimes.
Well, that
oh, no!
There. Oh.
Yeah, that was not a good corner for Banks. I thought he was going off for a second there.
I actually thought it was more an exceptional corner for Urquhart. He got a great run out of there, right on the edge of flip angle for the car, and that was perfect. He just had nowhere to go.
Oh no, and he gets into the back of him again with some sideways.
This is interesting. This is maybe Blake saying, hey, you wanted that move, that's fine, but get going up the road. You hold me up here.
Which is weird, because you think you just tell him in Discord. Now is Blake gonna... Nope.
Okay, so he's going to give Steven a chance to try and drag him up there. But obviously these two boys want to work together and see if they can chase down Levin in front.
And keep away the Syndicate car behind as well.
Yeah, well, that's it too. But yeah, that's a 2-car wide garage there, so I think Wickman might find it a little bit difficult to get past the two of them.
A little bit, but it'll be great to watch.
It will be. And he's having a good race at the moment, Jared. He's up in P7. Oosterwald behind him in P8. He was quite fast a few tracks ago and really pushing up the front. I think, unfortunately, I tagged him coming out of the pits last week, so we ended up with a lap short of fuel, and I tagged him on the last lap in the wet. But again, P8, so that's row 2. At the moment, it's still Taylor and Noble row 9th and 10th, so that's row 1 for race number 2. But still battling close, those boys too.
Meanwhile, got a battle here, I believe. Is this Morgan and Miles? It is. So Morgan starting to get the recovery drive going here after whatever the heck happened to him, like lap 3 or 4.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Maybe he put himself back there to make a few moves to finish up the race. But at the moment, the battle is quite thick for that P6 and 7, and then another great battle happening around Craig Healy as well.
I think Marty Hughes might have had an issue. He's dropped all the way back to last. In fact, he is just trundling around on the main straightaway.
Asking for the...
Oh no! Oh no! Oh, that's the barrier.
Yeah, tank slapper there catching him. At least he's right at the pits. Hopefully he doesn't get... Problem with going in the pits there too is that sometimes you get a 40-second stop and hold, but yeah, just getting a little tank slapper there and then on the grass and you're a passenger. It's that second grab, it catches us out sometimes, and you're a passenger when it does that.
Yeah, maybe not the worst idea to just kind of get back on the track and avoid getting yourself an unsafe pit entry penalty from that. Meanwhile, the battle further back is really heating up. We got O'Connell, Healy, and Gallon going at each other right now. Gallon is all over the back of Ben O'Connell.
It's a good battle back there. Now up front, Ryan Mueller's got it out to 5 seconds, but look at this, Gallon putting a lot of pressure. Nice little battle pack here, 4 or 5 cars.
Absolutely, Gallon is all over O'Connell. Looking to the inside, does John send it? Nope. Oh, but near contact between these two.
Again, it's a hard place to do a block pass, so you go for the big dive bomb and put the car in front. You've got to be fully in front to be able to use it. There's generally, a decent amount of track on exit out of these corners, which means that, that block pass isn't quite effective. So, it's, you can make a move, but you got to make it stick too. Nice move.
Here he comes. Oh, Ben trying to fight it, and he is going to fight it.
See there.
Holds on to it, but looking to the inside. He's going to have inside position this time.
Yeah, I think he missed his chance to close the door there. But good racing, good sliding too. You can see the tyres starting to degrade here, and the boys having to really push hard. And some good pressure by Gallon there. He's going to get that done.
Yeah, fantastic move from Gallon right there. Now he's going to try to set off and get by Nommensen, who is right in front of them. Oh, a big slide from O'Connell right behind.
Yeah, he's pushed those tyres. Starting to struggle now, I think. But that section there also shows Gallon didn't get that done in one corner. That took 3 or 4 corners of setting it up, gaining a little advantage here in 2 or 3 spots to then be able to make the move. So, that's what this track is about, but it does promote good racing. But, you've got to be smart about it. You can't just send it.
Absolutely, and I think that... Oh, speaking of send, he's sending it on Nommensen. Side by side, Kurt fight back on the outside. Oh, it's going to be... Oh, Gallon gets loose, and O'Connell trying to take the spot back while he's dealing with that. Oh, big lockup from O'Connell. He gets control of it.
Gallon went really deep then as well to go around the outside. That was another great move to take that back. Good battle. Exactly what you want to see.
I'm surprised there wasn't smoke, because the left front of O'Connell was not moving. That's how bad he locked it up. And here comes Gallon. And will he clear? Oh, there's contact. Mitchie Noble and Sattler.
Oh no, that's that P10 position.
That was the P10 position.
What's happened?
Let's see. Oh, Pete. Oh,
Straightened him back up.
Yeah, I don't know if he was far enough alongside there on that one. Seemed a bit of an interesting move there, Cowie. What do you think?
Yeah, I don't know. I like to leave race control to those sort of decisions. I mean, you know, unfortunately, those sort of things have big ramifications. You know, Mitch was looking at a P1 start for race number 2, and now he's got to fight his way back through with less than a minute to go.
Yeah, now it's Scotty Weston taking over the invert pole, looking to be a EWT front row for the second race tonight.
And we're inside the last minute, hey, so I don't know if we'll be able to get a shot of Joel's car for this race, but we'll get him up on the screen for the next one so you can get that screenshot.
And it's a new livery for Joel, going white this time around, not running the black livery that we've seen him in.
Thanks in the background there, getting that sorted for us. There he is. But we're probably on the final lap now. Ryan Mueller has got that lead out to 6 seconds now. Nelson and Nob, they're a couple of seconds apart. So that battle is for around Banks, Urquhart, Wickman. They're still close, but Ryan Mueller, again, took advantage of his teammate battling with Nielsen, and he's made the most of it. Oh.
Meanwhile, O'Connell gave Nommensen a nice little left tap going into turn 1. That battle has not stopped, even though Gallon has run away from it.
Yeah, look, the boys have been fighting hard. And look, one of the things I will say this season, that mid-pack, like I've been racing in and around sort of 15th to 25th. And, you know, it might as well be a sheep station on some of those races. The boys are racing hard, but it's been really fair and, you know, not a lot of incidents because we're, you know, showing each other respect. It's been some great racing this season.
Absolutely. Just a couple more corners to go for Ryan Mueller, doing everything he needed to grow that points advantage. And it's going to be another W. Ryan Mueller will win race 1 at the Bend.
Ryan Nielsen bringing it home in P2 over the line. Oh, got action here on the
Sattler
final lap.
and Noble going at it once again. Sattler did receive a post-race penalty for that contact with Noble. Hopefully he doesn't add to it. It's going to be a drag race photo finish at the line. It's like Sattler's going to have the momentum and he's going to have the spot.
Oh, there's great battles there in the middle of the pack. Not meant to be running the livery yet. Yeah, well, you've got to be careful about those sort of things, buddy. Especially with broadcasts involved and stuff. You don't want things on your car that you're not allowed to have because they can get you into trouble if someone goes looking. But race number 1 is done here at the Bend. Hot track. Saw the cars sliding around, but some great action there too.
Absolutely. We obviously wasn't much of a battle for the win, as you saw it. Mueller had the little hiccup on the start, but once he got the lead back going into turn 1, he just absolutely walked away with it. But yeah, everyone in the midfield made up for it with a lot of great battles there. That battle with Nominson, Gallen, O'Connell, that was a lot of fun to watch.
And it's going to be fun for race number 2 coming up soon too as well. So we're on a 5-minute break for the boys. We may see people out there tweaking their setups. It's getting a little bit cooler in air temperature, but I don't think it's going to have too much difference on the track. Though it's had a race now, it's rubbing in pretty good. Should be, optimal conditions except for this hot track.
Yeah, as optimal as you can get it in this seat.
Well, it's been a bit funny this year setting up the races for the series, where sometimes it lets me choose the actual day that we're racing, which I try to do, but then otherwise it won't let me check it. So I've either got to go, a month after or a month before. So I've tended to sort of stay at the before. So this might be one of those sessions where we're in March, but it's still got a February date, and that's why the heat may be still out there.
It is showing sim time February 24th at 4 in the afternoon.
That's Adelaide too, man. And if you've ever been to Adelaide, it's hot. The sun beats down there.
Yeah, can only imagine how bad that is, and how much fun that's gonna make next week's enduro.
Well, that's right. I mean, Tailem Bend is not far up the road, I suppose, isn't it? It's not too far from the street track next week. But yeah, look, I haven't done any practice there. I've bought the track. I haven't done any practice. I've had a bit of a hiatus from my channel at the moment with my track guides because I just haven't had the time to be able to do them and to, put in what I deem would be a respectable effort to, teach people to get around these places. Oh, a nice bit of drifting here by Peter Pavlik out on track. Yeah, look, it's going to be great fun. That fast corner, I can see several of us tagging the wall at high speed there, and so an enduro next week, only one fast repair. I reckon we might have some cars not make it to the end.
Yeah, and that's the real stressful thing about it is, an enduro long race, more points, championship battles on the line, and it being one of the more difficult street circuits on the service now. It's a lot of pressure that's going to be on everyone next week.
We probably should bring up the results of race 1 there if you've got them still, buddy. I know the warm-up's only got a minute left.
I was going to wait to read them off until we got to the starting grid, since they're basically going to be the same.
In reverse, yes. I see what you mean. But, look, it's been, it was good battles for race number 1, so I'm expecting more of the same race number 2. Looks like the tyre deg does come into play. We saw some, maybe was it Ben O'Connell there? Maybe one of the drivers that pushed his tyres a little bit too hard, maybe early on in that race. So, we might see a little bit more caution from the field at the start of race 2. But then again, like every race car driver, the best time to get spots is before T1.
Yeah, and he might have pushed his connection a little too far either, because he just dropped from the session.
Oh no! Oh, that wasn't commentator's curse, I hope. I mean, Sinka's here because of no internet, and maybe I'm inferring a little into his message, but it seems that he had a problem with NBN, got them out to try and fix it, and it's taken down his whole street now, so he may not be the most popular person in his street tonight.
Just Sinka things.
And something I just saw on my screen there, I think we missed it in the broadcast, but a driver's going into the second last corner as it blinked, and it showed a puff of dust as if he slid off. So That's what happens when a session ends sometimes. Weird stuff happens. I'm spewing that the sand traps actually slow the car down now, so the jump at Mount Panorama no longer works. But I suppose it is more
Unfortunately,
realistic.
yeah, but where's the fun in that? Anyways, here is the starting lineup / finishing results from race number 1. Your pole sitter is going to be a all EWT front row, Scotty Weston and Brett Taylor, with Joe Oosterval and Jaron Wickman on row 2. Blake Urquhart and Stephen Banks in all Pelicans row 3. And then we have Brandon Levin for Team SRW and Jax Nova row 4, and rounding out the top 10, your top 2, Nielsen and Ryan Mueller. P11 is the 101 of Daniel Clutterbuck for TMX with William Morgan next to him. What a recovery from William Morgan, up to P12 after all that. Peter Pav and Pete Sattler on row 7 in all Pete row. And then 3 straight SRB cars, Mitchie Noble, Tim Miles, and Jacob Trainer, with Gallon next to Trainer on row 9. Kurt Namison for Rev Esports and Ben O'Connell for Syndicate rounding out the top 20. Then rounding out the field, Craig Healy for EWT in the 67. Chris Tomlin in 22nd. Not the greatest first race there for Chris. I'm kind of surprised about that. We really didn't get to talk about him much at all, with Marty Hughes rounding out the field in 23rd. We have about 30 seconds before we get started for the final race of tonight.
Yeah, I think Chris Tomlin's been one of those guys, a little bit like myself. He's had a bit of bad luck that's kept him at the back, and then sometimes you can be a magnet for incidents, and even when they're not your fault, you get involved in them. And I think he might be having one of those sort of seasons. Reading the chat there from the boys, so he's allowed to use the livery. He's the team owner. That's fair enough. And AMS on the front row. Look, both those boys have been at the front of the AMS for the past couple of seasons, so looking forward to see how they go.
Absolutely. And the countdown is over. The lights are on. Green means go. We're back underway at the bend. Not the greatest start for Taylor. A great start for Scotty Weston as he runs away from all the chaos behind. We are about 3 wide here going into turn. Oh, we're going to be 4 wide. What a move by Jax Nova. Oh, and he gets into Wickman. Contact with Wickman, but what a start from Nova. Unbelievable as the Ryans are side by side. Oh, Mueller gave a little bit of a bump to Wickman. Oh, we got several cars around in the back. Oh, Chris Tomlin, the bad luck continues. And Tim Miles as well. Meanwhile, Nielsen and Mueller side by side here. Oh, they were just about 3 wide.
Oh, turned around there.
Oh, and rolls back into Tom. Oh, and Chris gets hit by, I believe, Mitchie Noble as well for good measure.
Tim might be in a bit of trouble there for not holding his brakes too. We'll have to see what race control's got to look about that. But yeah, one incident turned into sort of 2 or 3 with guys trying to go around the outside. So one of the things you're not supposed to do. Or Gallon was going for a big dive on, almost ran into the rear of the car in front. There's a bit going on. The boys here fighting hard on lap 1. It's a 40-minute race, boys.
No kidding, but please continue to race like this. It makes our job a heck of a lot easier.
Yeah, well, you don't need filler when there's action like this on the track. So.
Hey, man, brother. There's Nova right behind Weston, but he's got Urquhart a lot closer. He might be having to look more in the mirror than the windshield this time.
Nielsen ahead of Mueller. That's the way he needs it to be. Gave up a couple of positions of points in race number 1. Race number 2 was a little bit more. So needs to narrow that gap if he can before the final round.
You see Urquhart trying to go around Nova on the outside, not able to get it done. Man, this top 5 is ridiculously tight.
He is getting investigated by race control though, Nova, so we'll have to see what comes of that.
Oh, and he just got himself a 10-second time penalty for that. Meanwhile, here comes Nielsen. Look at that. They're going to be... Oh, man, a whole lot of contact. Weston and Nova. Oh, Nielsen! Big save from Ryan Nielsen. Contact with Mueller. I think I don't know. And here comes Urquhart trying to go through. And there's some significant damage on the front of Nielsen's car from that as well. That is just a terrible set of corners for Ryan Nielsen.
We'll have to try and have a look and see what happened there, but that's put him at a distinct disadvantage now. And Talonbend is a sort of fairly power significant track, so if he's down a few horses, this pack behind him's going to be right on his tail.
Oh Lord, and this battle pack is getting crazy. Morgan with a big dive on Wickman and Levin. As you see, Mueller has gotten by Weston, and now Urquhart trying to do the same. He will. Jackson over the race leader right now, up about a second. But with a 10-second time penalty looming for a little bit of a too aggressive start.
I think he had a blinder of a start, just maybe needed to break a meter earlier. That could have been unbelievable. But, you know, he's out in front, so maybe he can get enough down the road to bring that deficit down a little bit. But this probably means he's probably going to run long to minimise traffic for the second stint.
Absolutely, and looks like a drive-through penalty for Tim Miles.
Yeah, I think that's probably for not holding brakes. Probably on top of the... Because remember, we do have 5-second, 10-second penalties, but that's a drive-through penalty, so I think that's sort of one of those things where a couple of things have compounded and the full letter of the law has come down on him.
Yeah, the book hurts. It's going to be a huge time loss for Miles.
Well, it is one of those things. We've had to hold the brakes in right from the beginning for SRW. It's just one of those things that, you know, when, you know, something happens with the car in front, as the driver behind, you've got one decision. Do I go left or do I go right? That's generally your decision. If that car's moving, it normally means that the car's moving after you've made that decision, and then you've got no chance to avoid it. If you stay still, you know, then maybe you've got a chance. Now, I think last week I ended up the wrong way around, and one of the front runner cars hit me coming through to lap me, and I held my brakes, and unfortunately he had nowhere to go. But that's what happens sometimes. But nice battle pack going on here.
Oh, Levin with a big move on Banks. Oh, they're leaning on each other. Oh, a little bit of contact. Levin not giving up. Oh, more contact. Around goes Banks. Oh, into Wickman.
Don't know if the contact caused him to run wide there or it was afterwards. He had contact earlier in the piece. Oh, no, there it is. No, it's there. He tried to close down, so to see what happens there, he could be in trouble himself as well.
Yeah, hard to... Oh, as you see Morgan just absolutely clobber the sausage curb That car was not happy after that.
He is charging hard through here at the moment, using up the tyres early. Again, as I said, mate, the pro's coming through the field. And when people tell me Levin should be a pro, well, let's see if he earns it. But at the moment, he's got to fight off the pro behind him in Will Morgan.
Yeah, and you see Scotty Weston still holding on to P4. With P2 in the Pro Championship all over him.
Rushy thinks the net code. Yeah, maybe. But, you know, race control will account for net code if, you know, if he was up there and shouldn't have been. And the car was going to go into side of him anyway. They might realise that, but we'll see what comes of that. I am not in race control for that exact reason.
Yep. It's a thankless job, race control. One I want no part of. Just like cleaning bathrooms.
Who was that going to move in the back there? He almost got it done and then lost it. Black car in the background.
Yeah, I think it might have been Peter Pav.
Yeah, he got the move sort of half done then, but then got on the power and the, you know, 600 horsepower on the rear axle makes this car step out sometimes. 650, I think.
That they do as we're on board with Wickman now. Still holding on to P10, Jared Wickman is, despite being involved in a lot of stuff already in this race that none of it was his fault.
Well, as we sort of talked about at the start of the race, we've got a couple of different battle packs sort of happening here. As it tends to happen, you know, you get caught in a fight, well, that slows you down and the guy fighting you, and that lets everyone sort of concertina up. Oh, he's going a bit deep there.
Oh, Weston.
That's cost 3. No, it's cost 2 at the moment. It is going to cost him 3 because, again, yeah, you get out the marbles, the next few corners, the tyres don't really want to do what you want them to do. You've got to be careful not to over push, you know, when you have a moment, because the tyres are heated up or they've got marbles on them or dirt on them and they're not going to perform as they should. So you've just got to be careful. Scotty Weston seeing that. He lost those 3. Well, that's done. Focus on what I can do now.
Yeah, right now this is still a race that Scott Weston absolutely needs. He is picking up a pretty big haul of points over his teammate and championship rival Brett Taylor. Brett is sitting in P13 while Weston holding on to 7th.
Levin's making a go at Morgan here at the moment. There's a nice battle here going on. Levin, Morgan, and is that Nielsen in front as well? So nice battle going on.
It is.
Here.
Man, this is starting to go from bad to worse. If you're Nielsen, this is looking to be a pretty hefty points loss. Oh no, there's contact! Levin into Nielsen. Nielsen is gonna save it.
Probably penalised himself there in that moment, Levin. That might save him with race control. Also the fact that Nielsen managed to grab that was a good grab because that car was a fair way around when he caught it.
Yeah, it nearly went from bad to worse to even worse for Ryan Nielsen, but some fantastic car control just keeps it worse.
Has cost him a bit of time now. He's about 7 seconds behind Mueller, who's closing up on Jack's Knob at the moment. Blake Urquhart in that battle as well up front. But this battle here still goes on.
Yeah, I think if you're Nielsen, is Morgan with the fantastic crossover, but he's going to be on the outside for these next couple corners.
Nielsen with the inside line here. As long as he doesn't go too deep, he should be able to hang on to this. But again, this is Morgan applying pressure, you know, more probably on behalf of his, or for his teammate. If he can get in front here or force an error from Nielsen. And looks like Levin's just come into the pits.
Yeah, and I think if you're Nielsen, you probably should look to pit in the next lap or two. Oh, meanwhile, there's big contact hack behind them. Looked like Gallon and Weston got together. That nearly ended up with Gallon around into the wall, but they held onto it.
Sattler taking advantage of that too, jumping up a couple of spots. There's still movement in the back here too. There's that Wickman in the mix there as well. Clutters is there. Look at this. Heating right up. At the moment,
Yeah.
Look at that battle just in behind these guys. They were 3 wide in the last corner. And Sattler putting a good show. I've had some good battles with Pete myself. And he's right in the mix here.
Yeah, and this is getting a little more precarious for Weston. Is Brett Taylor is right in the back of this. Is a big moment for Wickman there. That might cost him the spot to Clutterbuck. Here comes Daniel around the outside. He's going to hold there. And now he's got the preferred line into the corner. Oosterwald just keeping the nose in. Is going to follow him through.
Clutterbuck opened the door. Oosterwald saw it was still open, and he snuck through as well.
Cheeky move from Joel. Oh, here comes Wickman with a big send to counter it. He's going to get it. Can Joel get the crossover? No, he can't.
Good racing. Good racing.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we are coming inside that pit window now, so 11 the first to go. This car, it can really be a big advantage. That undercut can net you 3 or 4 seconds. And then if you count that the guys around you are battling too, and you get a lap or two of clean air, that could be a big advantage. Of course, the flip side of that is your tyre's going to be older at the end. And we've seen here how, tyre wear can affect you and make it quite difficult at the end of the race. So we'll have to see if Leben coming in 28 minutes to go, if that's the right call.
It remains to be seen for Levin, but I think it's the right call for Nielsen. And I was actually, before the things started heating up there in that battle, I was going to talk about how if I was Nielsen, I'd come in right around when he did, because you get your fast repair, you get the car working how it should be again, you kind of cut off all that time loss that you were getting from that damage, and now you can focus on trying to recover whatever you can. Obviously, I'd say probably, unless something drastic happens, a podium may be out of the question for Nielsen, but I think a recovery up to like P4 is possible. Not ideal with Mueller likely taking the win here.
It's still early, but Mueller's got past Jack Snob. I don't know if we've got a replay of that we can have a look at. He has gone to the lead. Jack's is staying with him though, so it's not a completely done thing here. But again, these tyres are a fair bit into their life now. That's all about who's looked after him the most.
But don't forget, there's still the whole 10-second time penalty for old Nova.
At the moment, that'd put him back to sort of P5, P6. But we've already seen a few cars pitting, so we'll have to readdress that reckoning when it, once everyone's taken their second set of tyres. Because there won't be a single car out here that stays on this rubber.
Yeah, that would be a death wish. But yeah, like you said though, Jax has not let him go. That penalty he's got is hurting a lot more because of that.
Blake Urquhart's got a nice little cushion now too at the moment, back to Will Morgan, but again, it's going to be where Leben comes into the mix, pitting a little bit earlier. And a couple other drivers, well, we'll see how it goes. I mean, again, it's probably 1.5 to 2 seconds, the difference between good rubber and bad rubber. But it's all about how you use it and when to use it. and when to deal with the fact that you're losing it.
Absolutely. Once again, a whole lot of Pelicans in the top 5 right now. 4 of the top 5 are birds. Looks like Scotty Weston is going to be bringing it down pit lane this time as well. Meanwhile, the battle pack with Oosterval, Taylor, O'Connell is still looking pretty good. Oh, looks like Taylor is going to be joining Weston on pit lane.
We are getting pretty close to the halfway mark now, so, you know, I suppose that's the easy strategy, is to split the race in half. But sometimes, you know, again, you go that lap earlier than your opponent, and there's only a 1 lap advantage in tyres. You might be able to deal with that. Be interesting to see if Levin's, you know, he's going to be 4 or 5 laps older than the cars in front of him. So as long as he's making hay at the moment, it might be a masterful strategy, but you look after that rubber too.
Absolutely. As here comes Weston off pit lane, and Taylor as well. Oh, they're going to be right in the middle of this battle. Oh, boy.
Nice mix there.
Oh, no. Oh, boy.
Just got to take it easy, boys. Get those tyres up to temp. But again, they've got fresh rubber. The guys in front have got old rubber. Oh, no. Well, sorry, they've got rubber that's 4 or 5 laps old. So at the moment, it's all about them getting those tyres up to temp, because for the next few laps, they're going to have a distinct advantage.
Yeah, this is working out great for them that these 3 are throwing haymakers at each other. Wickman in the middle of a Pacific Esports sandwich right here.
Peter Pavlik already lightened it up a little bit. This car's sliding around a bit on him, so he's pushing hard.
He might be pushing a little too hard, too early. So meanwhile, looking behind them, it looks like these... Whoa! As you see, a big moment for Pavlovich.
Yeah, he's driving it hard, so trying to make the most of it at the moment. But again, I mean, I very much, when I'm driving these cars, try to be as gentle as I can the first few laps, just to give them that bit of life, because I know if you go too hard too early, then the last 2 or 3 laps, when they fall off the cliff, it's not just hard, it's a struggle sometimes. And that's when you can make mistakes.
Yeah, it's just so painful. As you see a little further in the shot, Ryan Nielsen right there. So these 4 have gotten ahead of P2 in the championship.
Yeah, so I mean, that's the advantage of the undercard. Look, Kleiderbach back in P18, and he was running up P11 before all of the pit stops happened. So, you know, but in saying that, there's a 5 or 6 or 7 lap difference in tyres for some of these guys. That may be, you know, where it all adds up at the reckoning end of this race. And we might see those guys that have stayed out there a bit longer have fresh enough rubber to attack at the end. And, yeah, this place chews them up. So you just got to be careful to bet them in and then get the most out of them.
Meanwhile, the majority of the top 10 still hasn't pitted. The highest one that's pitted, I believe, is Levin, who's gotten up into P9.
Well, I expected Jax to go along with his penalty. He needs to try and open out as much time as he can. But is there 20 seconds between Noble and 11. And 11's 52 behind Mueller, the leader at the moment. So, you know, 11's early pit stop is going to put him in that reckoning. You know, the longer this race goes on before the leaders pit, but obviously there's going to be that big tyre advantage once they do get up to speed.
So, I'm curious of what went on with Nielsen's pit, because him and Levin pitted on the same lap, and Levin was behind him. But now Levin is P9, and Nielsen is P14, about 11 seconds behind. So let's see, 22, yep, 22 seconds for Nielsen compared to 11.25 for Levin.
I wonder if he had his auto fuel clicked off and it's filled the car instead of putting 20 something litres in, it's put 50 in.
Yeah, Kobe, can you switch back to the pit times again? Because I want to check it around, compare it to the others. Let's see, wait for it to change pages. Yeah, you know, I wonder if you might be right about that or something, because, yeah, that is basically twice the amount of time as most everyone around him.
And Marty Hughes, I think, with a 52-second stop, looks like he might have got a 40-second stop and hold for an unsafe pit entry, maybe.
Yeah, you hope it wasn't an unsafe pit entry, since that's what he tried to avoid last race.
Our leader's in now, I think. And
Yep,
Jax came in with him as well. So now we'll keep an eye on them and see where they come out. There's Levin. I knew that undercut was going to work some magic.
And it absolutely has. Move him up to P4.
Oh, no, Mueller's still out. No, Mueller's gone in. Gallen is he stayed out another lap by the looks of it.
You would be correct. Yeah, Mueller comes out 6 seconds ahead of Nova. As here comes Urquhart trying to take the place back on Levin. And not a whole lot Brandon can do on that. That is the difference in tires right there.
Very big difference. It took Blake half a lap to get those tyres up to temp, and already, you know, he's probably half a second on Levin, and we're only talking a corner or two later.
Yeah, but crucially, it looks like Levin might be on for potentially P4, as Gallen hasn't pitted.
There's a great little battle pack going on here for P10 at the moment, I think, as well. 5, 6 cars involved. Clutter's in the middle of that. Look at it, the back line there. Is that Taylor? Weston in there. That was... Who was that got through then?
Oh, and... See, one of the EWT cars looking to make the move on Pav. Looks like it's Weston directly behind.
Yeah, I think it was Pav that got the move done there on Weston. So nice train, and that's John Gallen into the pits. So I think that is all of the field with pit stops finished. This battle still goes on. Clutter's now on the back of it, battling hard as well. Yeah, nice little train going on here. And can we see what lap they actually pitted so we can see what the tyre advantages maybe are? There we go. So 11.
So Chris Tomlin is not pit.
Well, there you go. Gallen's only just come in, so he's on his first lap of stint. These guys on their second. So yeah, 11, 6 laps older tyres. And then if we look at Chris Tomlin, he pitted really early in this race. Banks another driver that pitted early, Peter Pavlik, the same. So those guys with old rubber.
Oh, big move. Wow, what a move by Trainer. And he pulled it off. Great overtaking from Jacob right there. My goodness.
Great stuff. Good to see he's still enjoying his racing. I know race 1 didn't go to plan for Jacob, but he's right in the mix at the moment. P13 following the pit stops and on fairly fresh rubber, I think, too.
Yeah. Now side by side with Weston. Gonna get that pass done. Now he sets his sight on Pavlovich. Just carving through them almost effortlessly, it looks like.
So what's the gap from Levin back to Gallon and Sattler, those guys? So it's 4 back to Gallon and Sattler's, well, he's only a couple back from Gallon. So Gallon and Sattler both on really fresh rubber. Nice over under there.
Oh no! Oh, hang on to Jacob! My word, I have no idea what the heck caused that. Oh, that was near disaster.
I think he kept his foot in the throttle there and just
He
decided.
sure did.
Yeah, look at
Oh my god!
that.
And now he will go for the move on Pavlovich. Oh, here comes Pav with the crossover. They're still going to be side by side.
There's about 6 laps fresher rubber there for Trainer, though, so he should get this done on the power.
Whoa. Big moment for Oosterval as well. And there goes Trainer. But oh, Ryan Nielsen's gone around. Right in front of them. Whoa. Yeah, not sure if there was contact with Wickman or what, because it looked like Wickman wasn't that far away.
Look.
And
so he's hit Wickman and he's waited to redress that position. That's what's cost him a bit of the time.
Yep.
Has brought that gap down a little bit. Remember, Jackson still with the 10-second penalty, so Blake Urquhart 11 seconds back from Mueller, so it didn't cost him too much. But yeah, I think he just misread the how much we're checking up ahead, because there was a car ahead of that too that maybe caused the check up too. Well,
yeah. Plus, it looked like Wickman kind of missed the apex a little bit himself. And then Nielsen just came in and missed it worse.
Well, I think the car in front maybe might have checked Wickman up, and that caught Mueller out. So, but great battles, we're seeing it. And Kurtz, oh no. Kurtz had to drop out because he's got to get to sleep. Sorry, buddy. Good to see you out on track. Would love to be there racing with you. But get back to the front here. Look at this battle here. Weston now trying to put some pressure on Pavlik. So that early stop from Peter is now putting him under a bit of pressure with these guys with fresher rubber.
Yeah, you see Clutterbuck looking to make the move. He's got inside position on Oosterval. Oh, Pavlovich absolutely lighting them up on quarter exit.
He was showing some drift skills in the practice there before, Peter. But I think that, he's not trying to drift at the moment. I think that's those tyres being 6 laps older than the cars around him.
I'd say you're right. Is Weston trying to get by? Here he comes, looking to the inside. Pav going a bit defensive, and Weston has to tuck back in.
And we got Kobe on the back end there looking after the replays. So having a dedicated broadcaster really helps and enables the two of us to talk about the racing and not have to worry about it. That's technical jargon. Thanks for the question there, Miller.
I couldn't begin to do Kobe's job. That is just... I would just die from the overstimulation of all the things that you have to look at, keep an eye on it, and mess around it. It's witchcraft what he's able to do.
I think it probably also helps with the two of us watching our screens at home as well, and that means we see something, you can set it to watch the most exciting, and if something happens, we can pick it up and let Kobe know quickly, and that's why he can flash to those replays really quick. So I suppose it's a little bit of a team effort, but we're not going to take any of the glory away from Kobe. He's doing a great job.
Yeah, I suppose my unintelligible screaming of whatever contact is going on in the back of the field really helps.
Well, it does, mate. He's listening to us and our prompts, and that's, part of what makes it work. And this battle here just continues on. Pav somehow keeping these guys behind him, because all four of these cars have got much fresher rubber than he has. So, when the boys keep saying to me, why is Peter still a pro? Well, he's a previous winner from last year. But, it's this sort of driving here that's showing, pro quality, holding all these EMs and Pro-Ams at bay, with rubber that, probably, needs to be recycled.
Yeah, them tires are cooked, but the way he's driving, it does not seem like it. As here comes Clutterbuck, still heating up the rear end of Oosterval.
This is our closest battle on track, though. Levin and Gallon. Gallon's got right onto the back of Levin now, so there's another interesting battle happening up there for P4. And this is going to be another case of that tyre advantage, and I think Gallon might make this fairly easy. I do not expect Brandon to fight him as hard as Pav's fighting the other group, but we will see. Yeah, look already. Look at that. So much more grip Gallon's got. Going for the over-under, he gave it up and almost looked like he was going to get a speed again through this section. Perhaps maybe a bit close, a bit too early.
Oh, meanwhile, we're 3 wide further back. Clutterbuck taking it 3, able to get Oosterval and Weston. What a move. Oh, no, and he goes wide, and here comes Joel back around.
You got one of them done. Oh, the door's been left open by Joel. Clutter's big drive up the inside, and he's going to make that stick. Looks like he might even bring... Is that Tomlin through with him, is it? No?
No, looks like O'Connell.
No, O'Connell. Yeah, O'Connell trying to fight through with him there. Unfortunately, because I'm racing these boys, the only parts of their car that I know really well are the fronts and the back.
So, my apologies, that's not Weston, that is Brett Taylor, that's in this 4-way fight. Weston is a little bit up the road, still trying to get by Pavlovich.
Yeah, I was going to say I'd let the two of them just skip forward a little bit, so now this battle pack's broken up a little bit. Gallon is still stuck behind Levin as well, so Levin doing a good job to hold on to that, so we can see where, again, the offset of having that tyre advantage means you're giving up track position, and sometimes track position can be king. So, and is that finally, is that Taylor getting past? No, it's Trainer getting past Pavley.
It's like Trainer running down Wickman.
Yeah, no, apologies. Yeah, I had that wrong. But this battle here, we've kept an eye on it for a good chunk of the race. We've only got about 4 minutes left. And look, this mid-pack battle here has, it's been rather exciting. Pab going deep.
Whoa.
Can he hold it? Oh.
O'Connell going way wide. Whoa, and big sideways also. Oh, there's contact. Oh, and around goes Oosterval. Oh, into Taylor, and they all somehow stay straight. And here comes Ben O'Connell. Power sliding by both of them to pick up both spots.
I think just
how did none of them spin?
Yeah, some again, I mean, the boys have been showing some great skills, and I mean, realistically, when you get to the end of the season here, although your fields do get a bit smaller, that means everyone here is invested, and they've been practicing and driving. That's because I'm not out there. That's why everyone else can't practice. But yeah, no, great to watch and good car control. And I think this car is a bit easier to catch than the old Gen 2 supercar. But again, it's also more prone to stepping out on you too. So, throttle control is key. Always is, always will be. And this car's no exception.
Absolutely. See, O'Connell now has his hands full with Taylor once again.
Nice battle. Gallen and Levin, they're still at it as well. And that's a big tyre advantage. Sattler and Banks are at it. There's a few battles all up and down the track. And, I mean, we're talking a 40-minute race here with no safety car, at a track that can be difficult to pass, but it also creates great racing. I put Tail and Bend down alongside Fuji as sort of one of those tracks that just creates great racing. Every time we go there, the races just seem to be good and plenty of action.
And it looks like Nova might be able to hold on to the podium. I think there might have been an issue between Sattler and Gallen. Was it Sattler and... No, I think it might have been Banks, actually.
Let's have a look here. Sattler. There's a big speed advantage.
Oh, big send and little too much send, and...
Yeah, and he's going to let him back through, because otherwise he's going to get pinged.
And you see, there's Ryan Nielsen in the background. Does this allow Nielsen to maybe pick up a couple crucial spots?
Well, I think he needs to attack it. He can now think he's got a decent tyre advantage, though Sattler and Banks, I think, were some of the guys that pitted late as well. So I don't know if there's going to be a big advantage here. But look at, good exit there.
Meanwhile, it is white flag, final lap.
Ryan Mueller has done it easy again, though. Here, look at this battle. This is Banks, Sattler, and Nielsen right in amongst it. Levin's still holding off Gallen, so he's early call. Oh. Nielsen sending it, trying to find any way through. But Levin's call a pitting early. That might be a absolutely amazing move, because he's managed to hang on and keep Gallen behind him at the moment too. But Pete Sattler, P6 at the moment, P2 in the Pro-Ams. This is a great little battle, and see if he can hold off the fast-running Nielsen, who's got to deal with Banks first.
Yeah, and this is crucial for Banks. He does not want to give a point to his teammate's championship rival. He's going to be fighting this with all he's got.
Battle continues here. He can't get it done quite yet. Few corners left. See what Nielsen can do. But
meanwhile, coming to the checkered, another dominant performance. The sweep is his. Ryan Mueller wins race 2 at the Bend.
Now Jack Snow, he's come. Oh, look at this battle here. Also,
big defensive from Banks. Can Nielsen get the crossover? Oh, he's just about there. Banks continuing to go defensive. Final quarter, big sideways. Nielsen with the run. Can he get there? I don't know which line's the finish line. He won't. Oh, just barely gets beat out by Stephen Banks.
And crucially, Blake Urquhart has finished inside of 10 seconds of Jack's nose, so he might have snatched P2 off Jack's there. I think he's just managed to hang on to P3 on the and that last spot on the podium.
Yep, your math looks to be correct, Cowie. Held on by just 1 second.
But Ryan Mueller, another clean sweep to add to his resume this season. He had a 35 or 37 point advantage going into round 8. He's now extended that by a little bit more. Still have the Enduro to go, and anything can happen in an Enduro, but he's got a couple of fingers on that trophy, I think, already. We'll just have to see if he can keep him there.
Absolutely. This is the night Mueller needed.
I don't think Nielsen did too much damage to his championship fight, considering he is an Enduro, but, you know, there's another 20 points or so that he might have given away there. And, you know, coming into the last round, every point can count.
Yeah, he didn't do a whole lot of damage, but he didn't do a lot to help it. So he's gonna need a lot of help.
Just having a look at the race, looks like Mitch retired 8 laps down there, Rushy. We also lost Kurt when he, you know, I think he missed his pit and then had to pull over to, you know, get to bed for an early start tomorrow. But, mate, that was some exciting racing again. I've enjoyed my time in the comms once again. Of course, it might have been a bit more fun out there battling with that battle pack with Clutters and the boys. That would have been awesome fun.
Absolutely, but you did a fantastic job. It was very helpful having you here.
Well, thanks for having me, buddy. Of course, you know, if Sinka could get his internet sorted, I wouldn't have to be here and I could have raced, but, you know, that's all good. I don't mind helping out if I have to, but, you know, obviously, you know, even though I'm not racing as much as I used to, with no time on my calendar, I'm still enjoying, and I want to keep going with Tuesday nights as long as I can.
Absolutely, and well, what do you say? How about you interview the Pro-Am winner in P2 and I handle the other 3?
Sounds good, buddy. Sounds good.
Alrighty, we are waiting for everyone to make their way into the interview waiting room.
That's just who we are.
Let's bring up the results if we can. Or we've got an ad at the moment, so we'll let that run. We'll pay the bills, but we might try and bring up the results and go through all the particulars of tonight's racing.
Yes, sir. Have at it.
Individual subscriptions for $14.99 a month for each NASCAR vehicle.
But again, look, a few was that a burnout from Mr. Banks in the pit lane? Good thing he's doing that after the siren. But what a great night of racing! Yeah, Tail and Ben, I'll put it up there with Fuji. It's just another one of those tracks that just seems to promote great racing. But here is the standings for race number 2. Ryan Mueller taking it out for the Pelican boys. Jack Snove with that 10-second penalty. That'll put him back into P3, I think. So it'll be Blake Urquhart will be our P2 winner. Brandon Levin finishing P4 and the head Pro-Am once again. Though Pete Sattler, that battle with John Gallen right at the end there, that was a great battle. And certainly, you know, Levin with that early pit strategy, well, it paid off and he made it work. Great stuff. We had Banks in P7, another one of the Pelican boys. Ryan Nielsen P8, so there's a few points there, difference between him and Ryan Mueller that he will have to deal with next week. Jacob Trainer and Jaron Wicklund reigning out the top 10 with a pretty good race there. Jared, you got bumped a couple of times there, buddy, but still managed to hang on to P10. I'll let you read the next 10.
All right, and we have Peter Pav hanging on to P11. Scotty Weston brings it home. P12, your AM winner. Clutterbuck brings it home in 13th with Ben O'Connell and Joel Oosterval rounding out the top 15. Brett Taylor, William Morgan, Craig Healy, Marty Hughes, and Tim Miles rounding out the top 20. And then Chris Tomlin, Mitchie Noble, and Kurt Nommensen rounding out the field for tonight's race at the Bend.
All right, so it looks like we've got some of the boys in the room. We've got our AM winner, Scotty Weston. Let's drag him down and have a chat to him.
Yes, sir. Scotty James in the booth. You got a copy.
Hey mate, how you doing?
Doing all right. How about it? Another win, another good points night to get you some ground on your teammate for that championship battle.
Yeah, he's a little bit too far ahead, mate. I think we're just, shotgunning for him, make sure he gets there.
Well, I mean,
he's got a few points.
Yeah, but never say never. We still do have an enduro coming up, and it was just a wild race for you tonight. You were caught up in some pretty nice battles to watch.
Pretty gnarly, I reckon.
Yeah,
I had a killer start on the first race, and I had a bit of a lunge up the outside turn one. I didn't realise there was two people on the inside of me. I thought there was only one. I thought there was more room, but we had a bit of contact. So I gained a lot and then lost a lot. So that was that. And I think there was a lot of sheep stations out in the second race.
Yeah, but you were doing fantastic, even with it seemed like there was a bit of a tire deficit you were having to deal with compared to some of the cars around you, like Jacob Trainer, but you held your own phenomenally. Who
was it? The car in front of me, he was getting it. He had some rear end grip issues, I reckon. He was spinning up every corner, and it was hard to keep a constant flow with him sliding, so we were just going backwards. It was who was it? Can't remember now. One of the Pelicans.
Oh, yeah,
Peter Pav, yeah. I had the pace, but he was defending well, and there's no way I could pass. I let a few people pass me to see if they could open the door for me. Didn't quite work because they got past him, and I struggled. I think I was behind him for, I don't know, a good 15 minutes.
Yeah, but they opened the door for you. It looks like there was one incident that almost caused a big one, but everyone was able to settle it through, and you gained some positions because of that.
Yeah. I think I got the positions back that I lost the lap before. I think that was on the hairpin, is what you're talking about.
Yep, I do believe it was.
Yeah, that was scary. Yeah, it's hard. That's a hard enough corner as it is when you're just by yourself. Never mind with 3 other cars there.
Yeah, no kidding. Well, what are your thoughts going into next week's enduro finale at Adelaide?
Adelaide, that can throw up some all sorts of things. Lots of brick walls. Enduro, big points. Anything could happen. Anything. Try and stay clean.
Absolutely. Well, another great run for you tonight. Another win. Any sponsors, plugs, and shout-outs you'd like to give before we let you go?
I've been told I'm not allowed to mention GMK because they're getting too much work from all the mentionings from a good old teammate there. But yes, just the usuals. And big thanks out to you guys for broadcasting and putting the show on.
Alrighty, we appreciate you, Scotty, and hopefully we're talking to you again next week.
I really hope so.
All right, that is your AMS winner, Scotty Weston, and now toss it over to Cowie for our Pro-Am winner.
I don't think we've got Brandon in the room. Yeah, it doesn't look like he's made it in there, so we might have to bring our P3 position, bring in Jack Snob for a chat, and I'll have a chat to... Which way do you want to do this, buddy? You want to have a chat to him, or you want me to chat to him?
You can chat with him. I'm good either way.
Hi, Jack. This is Cowie bringing you to the booth, buddy. P2 on road tonight. I think your penalty put you P3, but still a decent result, buddy.
Yeah, that's right.
You ran long. Was that the plan once you picked up that 10 seconds?
Not really. I was just trying to do what Ryan's doing, to be honest, because I usually always stuff up my pit stop, so I thought I'll just do what he does this time.
And how were the tyres? How were the tyres towards the end of that stint?
Not enough to keep up with Ryan, but it was good. Like, you know, the car was quite good on fuel. Struggled a bit with quali. I felt a bit. It's the only track I find the quali setups. For me, it has to be completely different than what it is for race. Like where most other tracks, I usually just take out the fuel and go.
And what are your thoughts of the racing here at the Bend? I mean, I like it because it seems to create those battle packs. I know once you start fighting with someone, you lose time. But what are your thoughts on it?
No, it's good. I think you know, a lot of people hate it because you sort of just follow and you can't pass. But isn't that with most tracks, you know? I struggled a bit at the hairpin myself. My car was pushing a bit, and that's where Ryan got me. But once he went past, then I was able to stay with him for a couple of laps, and then he just sort of pulled away, and he made more time at the pit stop. And after that, I just sort of kept on driving, trying to stay awake, being quite late here in New Zealand. It's almost midnight.
All right, buddy. Well, we won't keep you any longer. Let us know who's spruiking the colours all over the car and who's looking after you. And congrats on a great drive tonight. And I have no guilt in putting you in as a pro now. So,
yeah, no, thanks, mate. No, I don't really have any sponsors or anything. That's just a standard Iracing paint job. So maybe later on, hopefully we get something on. But yeah, at the moment, just lone driver.
No worries, buddy. Well,
yeah.
Congrats on your result tonight. I mean, keep it up. You might have some of the bigger teams try to poach you. But otherwise, buddy, congrats on a great drive. And, yeah, how are you feeling about the street track next week then?
Yeah, looking forward to it. I haven't actually done much practice around Adelaide, but, yeah, street track's always fun. So, should be good. Or, you know, it'll be chaos probably, but no doubt.
Well, it makes two of us, buddy, because I think I own it and I haven't done a lap yet. But congrats on your result tonight. We'll see you next week, hopefully on track.
Sounds good. Thanks, guys.
All right, there is Jax. Let's bring Irk in. Do you want me to have a chat to him so you can talk to Ryan?
Let's do it.
All righty. Blake Urquhart in the room. P3 on the road tonight. P2 with the penalty to Jack Snob. But, mate, looks like you were right in the thick of things. You went long, and those tyres, that made the difference at the end there.
Yeah, mate. Yeah, it was a really good race, actually, for race 2. Started 5th and caught myself up to P3, and, yeah, apparently someone got a penalty, so I'll take P2 for tonight, and, yeah, car felt really fast tonight, so...
I'm going to have to be careful here, because I think the last time I was in the comms booth, you made it onto the podium too then, so you're going to start wanting me to be in here all the time.
Oh, mate, keep coming, please.
Now, how did you find the racing out there? I know, like, you came right out in that battle where there was a big sort of tyre offset. Is that what sort of made the difference there for the battling?
Yes and no. I was starting to probably struggle towards the end of Tudge. Not probably too much, but I was definitely struggling towards the end. The tyres was falling off. Probably with 4 laps to go, I started losing a bit of time to the guys behind catching, but I was just, getting in the zone and trying to just put my head forward and just keep up with the guy in front and try to keep the same distance and with the guy behind as well. And I kept the distance and it was really well.
Awesome, buddy. Well, I mean, another great drive from you. As I said, I'm going to have to stay away from the comms if I want to compete against you, but you had the win for the Pro-Ams last year and you're now mixing it with the pros, buddy. So, doing some great stuff. Let us know who's supporting you boys out there, and congrats once again on P2. I know it says P3 on the screen, but actually P2.
Yeah, apparently P2 because the guy in front got a penalty. So, much appreciated to the boys at PER. Majors garage setups. And we do have another setup. I don't have the thank you list up. I'm trying to get it up, but I'm running out of time to do. And all the other sponsors we've got. But yeah, much appreciated to the team. They really do help us out. And with no practice tonight, I really take that. So yeah, and thanks to you guys as well, to SRW, for all you guys do in race control.
Awesome, Blake. Well done tonight, mate. P2, great result. And showing the pace, mate. It's awesome.
Thanks, guys.
All right, buddy. Well, let's let you have a chat to our race winner. He's done it again, P1 in both races, Ryan Mueller.
Ryan James in the booth. You got a copy?
Got you, mate.
Well, what a night for you. Another dominant performance tonight. Just take us through it. Obviously, you didn't have the greatest of starts in race 1, but you were able to take the lead right back from your teammate, and that was really the only misstep you had all night.
Yeah, I don't really know what I did on the first start, to be honest. I completely forgot how to do one. But yeah, it was nice racing between Will and I, and from there I knew we had good pace tonight, which was we never really have good pace on a hot track, so it's good to finally sort that out. But it was pretty good all night, which is what we need to get this championship. So
yeah, it was a great points night for you with sweeping the night, and Nielsen not having the best night, especially there in the second race. Was that something you were really monitoring at all? Like, were you keeping tabs on your championship rivals, or were you just straight focus forward and focusing out the windshield, not on the relative?
Ever since the first race, I think I've been in the lead nearly the whole season. But ever since that, I haven't really been paying attention. I'll have a look at the points every now and then, just to see if there's anything else I need to do and watch. But pretty much tonight, most of the time I'm just driving to win and bring back the goodies for the team, which is what they deserve for all the hard work they've put in. But I'm pretty much just going out there and doing what I can to win and to get good results for the team.
And now we have the Enduro at Adelaide looming as the final race of the season. What are the thoughts and feelings going into that one?
I won't lie, it's kind of scary. I've never actually done a supercar race around there. I've done a couple of GT3 or Porsche races around there, and that was carnage galore. So look, I'm, as much as I'd like to get best results now, the best thing to do is just to make sure I finish, because anything could happen at Adelaide. As you saw last year in the actual V8s, everything kind of happened in 2 seconds on the first lap. So yeah, anything could happen, but I'm looking forward to it, and it should be good fun. These cars are awesome around there. So
absolutely. Well, another dominant night for you. Any sponsors, plugs, and shout-outs you'd like to give before we let you go?
I'd like to thank you guys for commentating tonight, Kelly for coming into the booth as well, and for you guys for putting on all the good races and the good series every year. I'd like to thank everyone at PER for their ongoing support, Lake Edge Holiday Units, Majors Garage for the awesome setups tonight, One Shot Pest Management, Track Racer, 8 Rivers Photography, our partner W Energy Drinks, New Eden Garden Cafe for coming on board for the year, my dad for the sim gear and everything he does for me, and I just want to congratulate the boys from the team and Erky on his second place, which was awesome to see for the team.
Alrighty, well, we appreciate you, Ryan, and hopefully we're talking to you again next week.
Cheers, guys.
right, and that just about does it. Cowie, what are your closing thoughts on a pretty good night of racing from the Bend?
Yeah, man. Another great ride. You know what I mean? Again, maybe the Bend gets that sort of, bit of a mocker of being hard to pass, and that can frustrate some drivers, but you can see that you can get it done. It's just, the issue is you can't get it done in one corner. Sometimes you need to set it up 2 or 3 before. And tonight, we got a great example of a couple of great moves from the pros. Blake Urquhart pulled off a beauty as well. Jacob Traynor pulled off a beauty around the outside of T1 as well. So, there was plenty of action on track, and, it wasn't just the pros. I think that was one of the races where we focus on the mid-pack for a good chunk of that, because they were just constantly battling. That's awesome stuff.
Absolutely. But with that, I think it's time for us to get the heck on out of here. For my broadcast partners, Cowie and Kobe Jordan, I'm James Watson, and we will bid you adieu till the finale next week.